Next up, the PS4 is now bundled with Last of Us.
Ooh.
$400. I like this.
Yeah.
That's a very, very smart move on their part. So my
Might have been
question
smarter
you
to
guys,
do it when you launched the game, but
Yeah, exactly.
I
My question to you guys,
understand.
How
Sure.
important is this? Do you think this will last forever? Because some sites have worded this is that this is a forever thing.
Yeah.
It seems like they made it, as far as when I read the blog, the PlayStation blog, it seemed like that was the status quo for now, was that the game just comes with the system.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, how important are game console bundles?
These days, I don't think they're that important. Back in the day, they were hugely
They were,
important
yeah,
because
big
games
deal.
were way more expensive. So, like, when you bought an NES in 1986 for $200, adjusted for inflation, that's like $370, $380. And then the cartridges were $30, $40, $50, $60, $70, $80, depending on how big the game was, which is all of those would be more expensive than any game released today. So the bundle of like Mario Duck Hunt or Mario Duck Hunt Track Meet and all those kinds of stuff later on Mario 3, like those mattered because it saved people real money.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying $60 today is not real money, but I'm saying like it was a little more, it was a little crazier back then. Cartridges were really expensive. I think that the further you get along, bundles became less and less important. Super Nintendo bundles were important. Sonic with Genesis is arguably the most important bundle ever released. In the sense of that, everyone forgets Genesis came out in '89. 2 years before SNES came out, it came with Altered Beast, which is arguably one of the worst games of all time. And that game sucks.
Away from your
Have you ever played Altered Beast?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that game
yeah.
fucking sucks.
Not a fan.
That game's like literally a 1.
Yeah.
SNES came out and Genesis was going to lose, and Sonic turned their fortunes around bundling that in. And it almost acted they just pretend like the console never existed.
Yeah. It was a relaunch.
Yeah,
It was brand new. Yeah.
And so that was a really important thing. But it's time. And then Mario with N64 But today it's like, no, I don't really think it matters.
The thing nowadays is that there's so many bundles. You know what I mean? They come along and we're coming off this thing right now. You had the Destiny PS4 bundle, and you had another one. There was a buy one get one during Christmas and the holidays. I think it's important right now in terms of people who have been on the fence. Here's this game that's a perfect 10. It's a game of the year, arguably a masterpiece. Everybody loves this game, and now it's in there. So if you were waiting, you're like, $400 seems a lot for just a system, and I'm not interested in Destiny. Now that it's packed in, right? It's like, well, all right. Because I remember, I forget what console it was where I was buying it. My mom was like, "There's no game in this." You know what I mean? Like that is to a non-gamer, somebody who's just knows a little bit about video games. It is an interesting proposition. It is more value, arguably, than what you were getting. out of it before.
Definitely. I think there's a lot of value there. But I think that the exciting thing about The Last of Us coming with PS4 is that The Last of Us is a 10. The Last of Us is arguably the best PlayStation exclusive of all time. It's arguably the best PS3 game, best PS4 game. Naughty Dog's best game. It's a lot of bests, and it's the best regular bundled in game, not like a special kind of offer or whatever, since maybe like Super Mario World, So it's like that's pretty significant. I think it's going to get people in the door. The cooler thing for Sony is that from a business standpoint, it makes a lot of sense because it's a first-party game. They don't have to pay licensing fees. They don't owe anything to Naughty Dog to put it in the box. They're going to get more copies out there, which will inflate their sales numbers. So there's a lot of reasons for them to do it as well. It's not like it's they're bundling in Battlefield or something, and then they have to split the money with DICE and EA. It's basically just it's not free money. They just don't have there's a negligent cost, and they're just proliferating
It's a
the
good
console.
number booster.
Exactly.
In general,
with 18.5 million PS4s out there, probably more like 19 million now. They're just trying to saturate the market, and they're doing a really nice job. I mean, the market saturation 14 months in is just as good as it was with Wii 14 months in, although Wii was heavily supply constrained. So it's a nice move. It's a good move. It's a logical move, and I wouldn't expect that it's going to be the last time Sony does this. It's just 2015 looks a little barren right now for exclusives for Sony. I think a lot of their studios are not ready yet. I think Media Molecule's not ready. I don't think Guerrilla's ready with their new game. Obviously, they're going to probably make a new Killzone. Polyphony's not ready. So, we have The Order and we have Bloodborne, which both come from second-party studios that are exclusive. And the only first-party exclusive that we know about that's coming out in 2015 is Uncharted, which Greg and I don't, and especially Greg doesn't think it's even going to come out in 2015. So this is a nice way to say, here's a game.
Something.
And, relax and enjoy yourself and get online and spend some time with it.
Yeah. I think the most important bundle ever is the Wii with Wii Sports.
That's a good one. That's
a great
really
point.
Good point. Yeah.
That's a great point.
Because that's the one that no one wanted that. No one everyone was excited for it, but I don't think the majority of people would have bought the Wii and bought that game. But the fact that it came with it, everyone played it. Everyone had that shared experience, and I think that that's really kind of what got the fervor up about the Wii.
Yeah, it's a
that's the one that proved
it's a fantastic game.
That's the one that I always talk about, right? I bought my Wii for the Virtual Console and for Zelda and for the laundry list of other games. And when I brought it home, and that's what my mom wanted to play. That's what we all played because it was this cool thing, make this character. And then when she found out that's bundled with the system, right?
Yeah.
Like that was it, and that's why the attach rate was so terrible on the Wii. Is you had all these casual gamers flood the market to buy it and never need to buy a game.
Yeah, they essentially were buying the Wii Sports machine.
It was one toy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the Wii Sports toy.
Yeah. My first bundle was my first console ever, which was the Super Nintendo that came with Mario All-Stars Plus World, which my favorite cart of all time. If I had to choose my favorite video game and it had to be one physical thing, it would be that. Because you get Mario 1, Mario 2, Mario 2 America, Mario 3,
Mario 2 America,
and Mario World.
Well, Mario 2, our Mario 2 is called Mario USA in Japan. But it's 5 great games.
Yeah.
Well, Lost Levels isn't. I don't know if it's a great game.
It's I love it.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's just like a mod. But
It's like a ROM hack.
But yeah, Wii Sports. That's a great point. That's a really great point. And Wii Sports is the best selling game of all time because of that. So it's kind of tricky in that sense. But yeah, that was the proving ground. At the same time, it was the reason why people bought the console, and the attach rate ended up being abysmal and stuff like that. So it was a kind of a blessing and a curse. But I think it's a blessing for Nintendo in terms of their bank account because they have $15 billion plus in cash on hand from the success of the Wii and the DS. Yeah, it's a nice point. That's a nice point. Yeah, but I think bundles generally, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm older and we have we have disposable income now, which we didn't when we were kids, and maybe our perspective is just a little skewed because of that. But this is exciting, and it's a zero. It's kind of like it doesn't add any cost to it. It just gives you more value, and so that's always nice. But is that going to get anyone to buy a PS4? I don't know. Maybe. I feel like everyone's played The Last of Us.
Yeah, but there's people on the fence for sure who are waiting or not, right? You know what I mean? Like that didn't know what they were getting into. They didn't want to jump into. They're waiting to see how it all pans out. Not to know that you get this amazing game right off the bat. I think it helps.
Is Last of Us the right game for that though?
In terms of, here's the problem with PlayStation 4's lineup in general is I don't think there's a title you can put in there that makes sense to everyone. Super Mario World makes sense to everyone. Wii Sports makes sense to everyone. My friend hit me up the other day and he's like, my son, 7 years old, is getting into video games. What console would you recommend? And I was like, well, and I went through all of them. Like, I guess the Wii U, honestly, because like they have 2 kids who are younger, or 3 actually now, that are all going to come up and want to play stuff too. And it's the multiplayer machine, and it's cutesy for everybody, and this, that, and the other.
And it's good.
And he's like, huh? And it's good. Yeah. I'm not saying all that. But I mean the fact that Mario appeals to all ages, right? Whereas I'm like, there's good games here, and there's multiplayer stuff on PS4, but I'm thinking it's Towerfall Ascension, and it's bloody, and it's got arrows, and he's like, yeah, that's not what we're gonna want to do and stuff. And he was looking to future proof, right? Like buy a console, but it's like he's not an only child, and he's not entering his teens anytime soon. So it really seems like the Wii U would be the right way to go because I just can't wrap my head around coming up with a bunch of fun, family-friendly games for the PS4 or Xbox One that are ages 7 and down. You know what I mean? And then even if you want to go up a couple years, 10 and down. Like it was like, I don't know if that's the right investment for you guys.
Yeah. So I think it's a little different these days, where it's not so much that the game and console matter. I think that the people use it more to sell different collector's editions of the consoles, and I think that started last gen, really, with Halo and stuff. When I think the Halo Elite. So there's the Elite,
green one?
Yeah, for Halo 3.
Yeah.
But then there was the Elite edition, the black Xbox 360.
Right.
And it's just like, I mean, even going back to N64, well, Donkey Kong 64 had the green N64, the green, come on.
The Pikachu one.
Legit.
Yeah, they had a bunch of them. They had a lot of them.
Pikachu,
Yeah.
horrendous looking monstrosity.
That's what both is cool and sucks about the industry, right? Is that like we jump on board, we're super excited, and then down the line there's going to be these amazing additions. I was going to look at the Xbox 360 Slim model that then they did the R2D2 one.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, man, I don't even care that much about Star Wars, but that is a dope system.
Yeah.
I would, you know what I mean? Like, that's really cool looking. And then, now you're getting into it with, like, we saw the PS4 Dragon Slime, or Dragon Quest Slime, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was like, all right, that's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Frozen
It's
PS4.
awesome.
Yeah, your Frozen PS4.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your Metal
but
Gear
so-
PS4.
So like Alfredo, he loves Halo, and I remember every single time a new Halo would come out, there'd be the new one. He's like, "Damn it!"
Yeah.
Like, this sucks. And I feel like now it's even more interesting, where with both Xbox One and PS4, there's the white versions with the bundles. They're the Sunset Overdrive and the Destiny. And it's just like, that's great for the people that were on the fence, because I think that is the game changer. It's, I was on the fence and I get the new cool fancy one.
Right.
And man, it's crazy how that works. When you have one, you want the other so bad. It's just like, that's crazy, because most of these people, when the Wii came out, they wanted a black one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, now it's like complete opposite. Why? Just because you had the other one.
Well, the consumer, we're all consumers. We're all fickle.
Yeah.
So it goes that way. That's why I just don't get involved in like with the PS, that beautiful PS4 anniversary edition is awesome, but like people are so excited about it. I was like, I don't know, it's fine. Like the innards are the same. I'm not like bringing people over, be like, hey, check out my PS4. Isn't this
that
great?
Was the first. That was the first new console that I can think of where I was like, I will buy that. And then of course, I couldn't buy it, but I would have bought that one.
Boy, did we try!
I would have bought that one, not to flip and sell, but just to have, because I did like that one enough to be like that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're all cool. It's just like you put the PS4 innards inside an Atari. I don't care. Like
it's gonna go on your entertainment shelf, and you're not gonna see the detail and do all these cool things with it. But it's like, God, that's really cool.
What I wanted the most from it was just the boot up sound, and they gave us that on all the other ones. So I was like, all right, I can deal with this. But I wanted that. I remember the day that it came out, I refreshed that page. I was up. There was like a 4-hour period of me trying to get that damn thing.
Yeah, you and everyone else in the friggin' world.
Yeah. Like, I didn't stop. I was
PlayStation experience is just people wandering around looking at their phones like, it's in my cart, but I can't get it.
Yeah. Oh man, that was hard.